Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Roth and Jim with a rewind theater of Interstellar. This premiered at Comic-Con, right, Jim?
Yeah, and this was the first time that Matthew McConaughey and director Christopher Nolan had come to Comic-Con, and they gave fans a look at the new trailer. As we've seen in the past trailers and past rewinds, the world environmentally has really gone to hell, and humanity's salvation lies off-world.
Off-world, this is the first real look, though. We've seen some fires and things like that, but this big dust storm, I think, really sets the tone for just how bad it's gotten.
Yeah, and we're going to see more characters than we've seen in past trailers, and there's Mackenzie Foy's young Murph, his daughter, and Michael Caine as a scientist. This is the first time we're also seeing much more of the astronaut side of all this.
Mm-hmm. The astronaut side of it is pretty interesting because, of course, as Christopher Nolan does, he puts a big emphasis, pardon me, you guys, on practical effects.
Like all this interior was all built by, in the outside of the ship. It's not just green screens there. There's actual practical sets outside of the ship as well.
And as we know, he certainly loves to shoot in IMAX. And one interesting little note is that he used the IMAX camera, had it installed in the nose cone of a Learjet inside this to get some of the interior of the spaceship.
You really get a sense, too, of the cost of taking on this mission. In terms of what it's going to mean to leaving his family behind. And there are some interesting rumors, and we can't vouch for all of them, but that, we know Jessica Chastain is the older version of Mackenzie Foy's character, and Casey Affleck is the older version.
Hold on just one second.
Timothy Chalamet.
Sorry, yeah, they're going through. So just to talk about that a little bit, they're going through the wormhole, basically leading them into the far reaches of space and time, which is why Jessica Chastain is the older version of his daughter.
Yeah, that months or a few years in space travel time, basically using a wormhole to get to another side of the galaxy. On Earth, time continues as is, and people grow old. Now, here is Wes Bentley. Of course, you know him from American Beauty and maybe Ghost Rider or The Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games.
But we believe he's playing, I think he's playing one of the crew. It looks like he's on the ship.
So here they are.
That's him there, right?
That is him, yes. On the ship. So it looks like they're entering this alien world that we know that they're going to go to. Shot in Iceland. There's a big rumor that Matt Damon has some secret role, possibly as an alien in the film, because supposedly he did shoot some in Iceland with them.
And, this is also interesting because, Nolan filmed Batman Begins in Iceland, but I like that we get a real sense, there's a tactile kind of realism to all of Nolan's films. And this one, I'm sure that there's some digital augmentation to these landscapes, but it's cool. Now, this actor right here, I believe his name is David Giazzi. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. But there are a lot of other actors that we haven't seen in this, in the trailer that we know in the movie. Now, this is interesting that they're getting messages from back home.
Yeah, it looks like they're able to communicate and at least stay somewhat in touch, which is a little bit confusing when you think about the difference between the time difference. And I don't know how they're going to account for that if there's a certain point where they can, if that's the last goodbye, that he's going to go to a part of space that he can't reach him anymore.
So there we see that this is a NASA mission. It's not some sort of, international kind of space agency, and his name is Cooper.
Do not go gentle into that good night.
It's really, the scale of it is also so beautiful. I mean, he does put this emphasis. He always talks about this, about hearkening back to sort of the sci-fi of the 70s in this film. He puts such an emphasis on practical, on shooting on film. And I mean, it does pay off.
Let's just point out here, that's Topher Grace. And we can see in the distance just the amount of, we've seen the fires before in some of the other trailers, but again, like who are these people, these townsfolk that he's leaving behind? We saw Casey Affleck earlier.
Well, if we look again, also, some of this does not looks like Alien to me.
Like they seem to land on some alien planet here. Let's get.
That looks like an alien ship to me.
Yeah, that doesn't quite look like something they would have built.
Perhaps with Matt Damon on it.
Let me just see if we can see her name. Yeah, she plays a character named Brand.
Yes, you are.
All right, let's just go back here now. Again, like we see the spinning vessel, and there's definitely a lot of Kubrick kind of vibe. And if there's one filmmaker that that Nolan seems to draw from, it's Kubrick.
Yeah, he's definitely, I mean, he said specifically that 2001 is a huge influence in this film, but he also quotes other films, you know. He quotes some of the early Spielberg work in Star Wars, things like that.
You definitely have almost like a Close Encounters kind of vibe to some of this. I mean, you could see this being in either a Spielberg film or, you know, that's very 2001.
Mm-hmm.
But Interstellar comes out November 7th. Keep it locked here to IGN for more.